Hello and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to a session lager from a bottle shop. Yes, when I say from a bottle shop, I don't mean it was bought from a bottle shop, although it was. It was bought from the Drunken Duckling Drinks Emporium. Still struggle to say that in the first take. That wasn't the first take. And but it is also called the Drunken Duckling Drinks Emporium Session Lager. Now, they don't brew it themselves. It's a collaborative brew between them and, I believe, three brothers. And I don't want to get this wrong. That's correct. Them and Three Brothers Brewing, who the same brewery that made the Honeycomb Stout, which is a beer that I featured on the channel a couple of videos back. That beer was nice, but maybe a bit misleading in title. It didn't really quite gel with their description, although I did enjoy the drink. So let's see what they do with a session lager. So this is simply a 4% ABV session lager, light, crisp and refreshing is all it says on the front along with the logos. So yeah, let's get into it. Here's a quick look at the can. You can see it and spin it in around. Bit of info on the back, which we'll get on to later. Let's do it. Super pale. Once again, a very crummy pour, I think you'll agree. The carbonation is going feral in that glass. I mean, it's so full I can't really pick it up to show you, but you can probably see it on camera if you look at it just sparking around all over the place. This is not a lager specific glass, but a nucleated glass for mainly, let's be honest, lager and pilsner purposes. But that is violent, has to be said. All of the beer is now in the glass. You can take a look at it. Visually, I mean, it looks like a lager. Big solid head on it, loads of carbonation, and to be honest, the very end dregs were actually a little cloudy, so it's not the clearest beer now. Whether I was meant to do that or not, I don't know. But yeah, it's very pale, very active, slightly hazy. Looks all right. Let's find out what the aromas are. Instantly, very Pilsner-esque rather than more bready lager, I suppose. But I tell you what, it's got a real yeasty nose to it, like a lot of Belgian beers, like, I don't know, just a lot more European stuff, but not necessarily European lagers and pilsners. So that's a bit, I don't know, just misdirecting me a little. That yeasty aroma is slightly fruity, slightly... It's not quite full Belgian, but it has a bit of that flair. It actually reminded me a lot of French Trappist beers that are kind of very similar to the Belgian stuff, but not quite there, if you know what I mean. It's got that kind of aroma, but it smells like it's going to be crisp, fresh, refreshing. Maybe just a touch fruity. So let's find out. Cheers. That is not what I was expecting. That's much more flavourful, deep, rich than I ever thought it would be from the visual, the aroma and the description on the can. It's got proper, heavy, quite toasty malt in there. And then the yeasty nose doesn't really see its way through into the flavour, but there's maybe just a bit of a fruity off note lingering. And despite the aggressive carbonation in the glass, or in fact because of the aggressive carbonation in the glass, it's not that fizzy now, I have to say. It's really not sparkling away like I thought it might. So that is interesting. It's no doubt refreshing. Absolutely fantastic for a summer's day, but just a little bit deeper and richer than, I guess, most British lagers. I mean, I've said it before a few times that British lager always has a thing about it, and you can tell that it's a British lager most of the time. they're often just lacking in one way or another. And this, well, this has a smoky, a depth, an earthiness to it that it takes it away from the normality. Now, whether that is for everyone, it's hard to say, but it's definitely a little different. Now, what it does instantly remind me of is that beer, the Glenspeen Snow Goose. That has a very peaty, smoky flavour, but that's more sweet, rich. I don't know. It's still a lager, but it has a real solid backbone to it. This one is more underlying than that. It's a touch of smokiness. It's not peaty though, in the way that that one is. It's yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I feel like that slightly smoky flavour will be very abrasive to some drinkers. Some people just will not like that or want that in a lager. However, I'll be honest, it's still cold outside here. I couldn't decide what to drink tonight. I didn't want anything really strong. I didn't fancy anything hoppy. I don't really have many middle of the road dark amber beers in at the minute. So this actually made a great choice. And because of that extra depth element to it, it's a fantastic choice for a winter lager almost. It's really interesting. Right. Top to bottom taste test. Let's find out what I'm really blabbing on about. So initially, slightly lighter carbonation now. A little bit sweet on the front of the tongue. That second phase goes very juicy almost, very refreshing. I feel like I'm picking up on a bit of melon in there, weirdly. It's kind of that subtle fruit residual sweetness of a melon. And then as it gets to the back, it goes slightly sharp. And then it mellows out dead quickly. A bit more of that juicy, refreshing sensation. And a bit of a waft of that underlying kind of slightly smoky malt. It's not a proper smoked beer. It's just, there's a richness to the malt in this that is not giving away on the colour because it's pale as anything. It might not even be the malt, but it's giving that sensation of a slightly richer, deeper smoked malt bill in it. I don't know how or why, but I think I like it. I was a bit unsure at first, but actually I think this is growing on me. So, and to finish, there's a slight sourness, slight astringency to the finish on this. It might be the yeast component that's been left in. I realised in my videos now, I've started putting the mic here rather than on the camera. This is totally an aside, by the way. And I found myself looking at the microphone because I need to project, and so I think I'm going to have to move it. But it can stay there for now. I'm going to try and look at the camera. So yeah, I'm not sure about that part of it, but it's a minor detail. It's really not very strong or particularly offensive. So yeah, let's take a look at the can. So as we saw before, Drunken Duckling Drinks Emporium Session Lager, light, crisp and refreshing, 4% ABV. It says Session Lager, light, refreshing and very sessionable, everything a good lager should be. This craft lager is made with American and Slovenian hops to deliver an enjoyable, light, citrus zing on the finish. Okay, so that slightly bitter, sour thing, that's could be that lemon zing. The hops are Chinook and the typeface over the can is really difficult to read. I want to say Aurora or Arona. Aurora, yeah, it must be Aurora. Allergens are gluten, oat, wheat, and barley. So it's 4%. Stand this can in the fridge for at least 1 to 2 hours before pouring into your favourite glass. Check. Brewed by three brothers, as I've said before, 1.8 UK units in this can, and that is all that it says about it. So then, final thoughts on this. I mean, the head's pretty much completely dissipated. It's not what I believe to be the truest form of the style. Once again, the same kind of issue I had with the other beer I've had recently from Three Brothers, but it does have a bit more of a citrusy berry. No, it's more citrus aroma. Now it's been open for a while. There's a few different things. Each individual flavour I think is very good. It's just possible that they don't gel absolutely. But craft lager is difficult, especially in the UK for some reason. It's just not very well done most of the time. And I have to say, this one is on the better end of that scale. Could it be improved? I have no doubt. But it ticks all the boxes. It's not bland, and yeah, I'd happily enjoy a few pints of that. So as a result, I can only say thumbs up, really. And that is all I have to say about it. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like it if you haven't already subscribed, if you would be so kind, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.